The Oakland chapter of the NAACP is fed up with the anarchy created by the city's soft on crime policies. The head of the group blasting local officials and even calling for a state of emergency to be declared, adding, quote, failed leadership, including the movement to defund the police, our district attorney's unwillingness to charge and prosecute people who murder and commit life-threatening serious crimes, and the proliferation of anti-police rhetoric have created a heyday for Oakland criminals. It is not racist or unkind to want to be safe from crime.
So you heard that right. The Oakland NAACP says defund the police is a dumb idea. And they say, finally, enough is enough. We got to live here. So, welcome to Oakland, California, one of the most progressive cities in America. Now, before the Black Lives Matter movement and the defund the police movement, Oakland's crime rate was going down dramatically because they invested in both police and criminal justice services.
Oakland is seeing a dramatic drop in the crime rate, especially when it comes to murder.
KPIX5's Ann Makovic takes a look at the strategy by the police department, and it appears to be working.
Yeah, good news is certainly welcome. This is a city that has averaged more than 100 homicides a year for the last 4+ decades. And today, Oakland leaders releasing the annual crime data report, which they say shows a steady 5-year decline in shootings, homicides, and robberies. There were 75 homicides occurring in Oakland last year. That is down from 85 in 2016, and that follows that downward trend. 2016 brought a 12% drop in violent crime versus the 5-year average, and a 20% drop in robberies. The police department has credited the improvement on a more prominent police presence and getting help from the community. With better technology, more residents and business owners are giving police video evidence of crime. Churches, youth groups, and nonprofits have also been stepping up their work in prevention.
Now, after those wonderful numbers, woke politicians in Oakland and in San Francisco decided to defund the police.
In Oakland tonight, defunding the police has become a reality. Hours ago, the council voted to take more than $18 million away from the police department to invest in violence prevention programs.
So then a couple of years later, now you're back up to record amounts of crime.
Let's get right over to KPIX5's Ann Makovic, who is live at the news desk on Oakland's increase in violent crime.
Yeah, those numbers just released this morning show a reverse of years of falling violence in Oakland. So this is a new disturbing trend. Let's take a look at some of those numbers. There were 6,351 violent crimes recorded in Oakland last year, the highest number in the last 5 years, and a 7% increase over 2018. Homicides, aggravated assaults, and robberies were all up.
Now, what the politicians didn't understand is that when you defund your police department and those types of services, the people who rely on them most are people in the minority community. More affluent communities can pay for private security guards, put up gates, and do those type of things. They have the financial resources to protect their property. But if you're living in a low-income neighborhood and living paycheck to paycheck, you don't have any extra money for security. Your security should be the police department because you pay taxes to have them protect you and your family. Now, in a irony of sorts, the reason why police departments were being defunded is because activists and politicians believed that the black community wanted to defund the police. Like in this shocking example of Mayor London Breed in San Francisco. She wanted to defund her police department and give reparations to black people living in San Francisco. I'm not even joking.
Yeah, London Breed wants to take $120 million away from the city's law enforcement budget as a form of reparations toward the black community. She said the city has had decades worth of policies, which has basically prevented them from being able to prosper. So here is a look at some of the numbers. The police department's budget would shrink by $40 million in each of the next 2 years under Breed's plan. That is 6% of its budget, and $20 million would be taken from the sheriff's department. Preliminarily, the police chief says most of the money would come from not filling open positions. Vehicle purchases may also be put on hold.
For those who truly believe that Black lives matter, it's important that we listen to Black voices. It's important that we allow Black people to lead this movement.
So that's how crazy it had got in the San Francisco and Oakland area. But now, if we go back to Oakland, the NAACP of Oakland said, hey, enough's enough. Crime is out of control. The DA doesn't want to prosecute crime, and the mayor is just sitting there doing nothing. We need more police, not less police, and we need help because we actually live in these communities, and they're essentially war zones.
Well, let's talk about this new push to refund the police as cities grapple with increased crime. The Oakland, California NAACP and a local church calling for a crime emergency to be declared. The group saying, quote, failed leadership, including the movement to defund the police, our district attorney's unwillingness to charge and prosecute people who murder, have created a heyday for Oakland criminals, end quote. The Oakland NAACP president telling News Nation everyone is in danger there.
You can't go to the grocery stores. You can't put your groceries in your cars. You can't do anything. We had to say something. We was too quiet.
We were too quiet.
Hey guys, this is a quick ad, but stick with me because this one is truly wild.
His name appeared alongside Hollywood celebrities in international news headlines, wrongfully connecting him to crimes in the college admissions scandal. He says the case ruined his life and his career. Although eventually exonerated, it ended up costing him his life savings in legal fees.
Now, what would you do if the U.S. government accused you of federal crimes you didn't commit, while Netflix and USC is breathing down your neck too? This is exactly what happened to John Wilson, the subject of the new book, Varsity Blues, A Scandal Within the Scandal. And here's the kicker. He was totally innocent, but yet he was lumped in with people like Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin, who pleaded guilty to their crimes. But prosecutors didn't care that he was innocent. They weaponized the justice system and tried to destroy his life over a $1,400 typo. And when his case was looked at by a federal appeals court, they said, quote, John Wilson did not receive a fair trial. This book details the tragedy of the U.S. government accusing you of a federal crime you didn't commit, while Netflix and the University of California are breathing down your neck too. Now grab Varsity Blues, A Scandal Within a Scandal. Link is in the description and in the pinned comment. It is a masterclass on how one man took on the system and won. Now, link is in the description or in the pinned comment, or you can also find this book on Amazon. Now, back to the story. So the NAACP decided to break with the whole BLM and defund the police movement and just said, hey, enough's enough. And we need to throw out all these woke politicians who are pushing these narratives. So they backed recalls of DA Pamela Price and the mayor Sheng Tao.
Recall of Oakland's Mayor Sheng Tao are intensifying. On Monday, the Oakland chapter of the NAACP announced their official stance on the recall effort.
We, the concerned citizens, therefore demand your recall for the sake of our city's future. You lack the competency, credibility, judgment, and ability to lead what was once a great American city.
Members of the NAACP listed public safety, the year-long search for a new police chief, and a decline in business as reasons for the lack of trust in her abilities.
Many working people, we are suffering.
Now, after all that, the mayor and the DA were both recalled, kicked out of office.
In Oakland, California, it appears Mayor Sheng Tao and District Attorney Pamela Price are on their way out, with voters backing bids to recall them less than 2 years after taking office. Both recalls are leading 65% to 35%, with 100% of precincts reporting.
Now, the people of the city of Oakland elected a new Democrat mayor, but she made it very clear she's not for the whole defunding the police.
Try doing this a different way, because business owners deserve to be safe like residents do. Downtown deserves to have businesses flourish. Employees and people in downtown want to be able to go to restaurants, want to be able to shop downtown. And so we have to figure that out. We want to make sure that businesses don't have to worry about being broken in. I'm not a defund the police candidate. And so I believe in violence prevention, crime prevention, public safety, and making sure that our police force have the skill, the funding that they need to do the real work of policing. And so it's a big piece.
So what do you think about Oakland's reversal? They went from defund the police, police are all racist, to now we want to fund the police. We need more police. And we're kicking out the politicians who want to defund the police and bringing in ones who want to do the reverse. And I think we need to give the NAACP a lot of credit. They chose common sense over the race hustling madness and said the people who are living in Oakland need real law enforcement. They need real policing. They don't need people marching marching in the streets saying defund the police, because that doesn't help anybody. Matter of fact, that hurts us the most. But as always, tell me where you disagree with me in the comment section. Say, Nate, hey, I think you're wrong here. I think defund the police is the way to go. I just personally disagree with you. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe to all our YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Peace.